Have you ever wondered why some men seem to effortlessly attract women, drawing them in with an invisible force, while others who try so hard are consistently met with silence? The difference is not looks or money. It is a philosophy, an ancient operating system for the male mind that turns neediness into strength and anxiety into a magnetic sense of purpose. Forget everything you've been told about needing the right lines, the perfect car, or a specific job title. These are fleeting externals. The Stoics knew that the source of all human attraction and all human power is internal. It is forged in the fires of self-discipline, emotional control, and an unwavering commitment to one's own purpose. What women are fundamentally drawn to is not a man's possessions, but his presence. They are drawn to a man whose inner world is so solid, so well constructed, that he becomes a source of strength and stability in a chaotic world. This is the man we will build today. Today, we are not talking about cheap tricks. We are delving into the timeless wisdom of the Stoics, men like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca, who understood that true attraction is not something you chase. It is something you embody. We will explore 6 principles rooted in this ancient philosophy that will transform you from the chaser into the one who is chased. This is not about playing games. It is about becoming the prize. And if you stay until the end, I'll share with you a powerful ancient parable that captures today's episode perfectly. Now, let's begin. Principle 1, let her chase. The most common mistake men make is signaling that a woman's attention is their ultimate prize. They overtext, overcompliment, and are always available. In Stoic terms, they've made an external, her validation, the key to their peace. This is a fatal error. The Stoics teach that our self-worth must come only from what we control, our thoughts and our actions. A woman's affection is a preferred indifferent, something to be enjoyed, but not something your happiness depends on. When you internalize this, your behavior changes. You stop chasing because you are busy with your purpose. A man with a mission, building a business, mastering a skill, getting in peak physical condition, does not have the mental energy to obsess over a text message. His attention is a valuable resource, and this creates natural scarcity. You are not playing hard to get. You are hard to get because you are living a life of substance. When you stop chasing, you create the space for her to begin pursuing you. Not because you tricked her, but because she is genuinely attracted to a man who has a kingdom within himself. This self-contained nature fundamentally challenges the typical dating dynamic. Most men implicitly ask a woman to validate them. The Stoic man, by being engrossed in his own life, non-verbally communicates that he is already validated from within. This forces her to shift from the role of judge to the role of applicant. She begins to wonder if she is good enough for him. The Roman philosopher Seneca wrote, "The whole future lies in uncertainty. Live immediately." By living immediately, by finding your fulfillment in the present task rather than waiting for her approval tomorrow, you embody this attractive uncertainty. You become a man whose value is self-evident, not sought. Principle 2, stay mysterious. Modern culture encourages oversharing, but attraction cannot survive without curiosity. The man who lays his entire life story on the table in the first hour kills all intrigue. The Stoics were masters of discretion. As Lao Tzu said, "Those who know do not speak. Those who speak do not know." This isn't about being deceptive. It's about understanding that true confidence doesn't need to announce itself. Become an editor of your own story. Share highlights, not a minute-by-minute breakdown. Let her discover you in layers, earning the deeper parts of you over time. This makes you stand out. In a world where most men are open books, you are a locked journal. She will wonder what is written on your pages and become more engaged in the process of discovery. As Epictetus advised, do not talk about your philosophy, embody it. Don't tell her you are a man of depth. Let her discover it. Think of this as the negative space in a great painting. The empty parts of the canvas are what give the subject its form, power, and focus. Similarly, the things you don't say, the parts of your life you don't immediately reveal, create the shape of your character in her mind. It gives her imagination room to work, which is a powerful engine of attraction. This isn't about lying or being evasive. It's about respecting the process of discovery. It shows you value your own past and experiences too much to give them away cheaply, making her value them and you all the more. Principle 3, make her work for your approval. The single most common way a man destroys his own value is by giving his approval away for free. He acts like a starved man at a banquet, praising her for the most basic things, her looks, her simple opinions, her mere presence. This constant, unearned validation is a flashing neon sign of neediness. It communicates that his approval has no standard and is therefore worthless. The Stoic, however, understands that his judgment is one of the few things he truly owns. His approval is a currency backed by the gold of his own high standards, and he does not spend it on trifles. He knows that what is given freely is never valued. A Stoic is not impressed by externals, like physical beauty. He is impressed by character and reason. Therefore, you must stop complimenting her like every other man. Instead of, "You're so beautiful," which she has heard 1,000 times, you wait, you observe, you listen. Then, when she demonstrates a quality of true value, a sharp insight, an act of kindness, resilience in the face of a challenge, you grant a specific and earned compliment. The way you articulated that point was impressive. Or, you have a strength about you that is rare. This shift in behavior has a profound effect on the dynamic. When your approval is scarce and based on merit, it becomes a prize she wants to win. She will subconsciously begin to display the qualities you value. She will move beyond trying to impress you with her appearance and start trying to impress you with her mind, her wit, and her character. You are no longer the supplicant hoping she likes you. You have become the gatekeeper of a higher standard, the man whose respect is earned, not given. She is no longer being judged on a curve. She is being measured against the unwavering standard of a man who respects substance above all else, and she will work tirelessly to meet it. Principle 4, preserve your freedom. It is easy for a man to lose himself in a new attraction. He abandons his hobbies, friends, and goals, becoming a satellite in her orbit. A woman is not attracted to a satellite. She is attracted to a star, a source of its own light. The Stoics called this inner power sovereignty. A sovereign man is the king of his own inner world, governed by his purpose and principles. He does not abdicate his throne for anyone. He invites a woman to be the queen in his kingdom, not to tear it down. This means you maintain your discipline. You still go to the gym. You still work on your business. You are a whole person, and your happiness is not dependent on her. This independence is the bedrock of attraction. A man with a mission is unforgettable. You are not a supplicant asking for entry into her world. You are the gatekeeper to your own. The sovereign man sets the frame of the relationship. His life, his mission, and his schedule constitute the primary reality. She is invited to participate in that reality. This is not arrogant. It is a clear and honest presentation of his life that forces a choice. Does her presence complement his mission or detract from it? A high-value woman is drawn to a man with a strong frame because it provides direction and security. She doesn't want a project to fix or a boy to raise. She wants a partner who is already on a compelling journey of his own. Principle 5, use silence as a tool of strength. Our culture is terrified of silence, but the Stoics knew that true power lies in stillness. Silence, when used correctly, is a potent form of communication. A man who is constantly talking and instantly available becomes background noise. The man who is comfortable with silence becomes a figure of intrigue. Do not be afraid of conversational pauses. A beat of silence before you respond communicates that you are thoughtful, not reactive. This extends to digital communication. You do not need to reply instantly. A delayed reply is the natural consequence of a man living a full life, not playing a game. Your silence and your absence can become more powerful than your words and your presence. You teach her that your attention is a gift, not a given, and she will begin to work for it. This deliberate use of silence creates a specific type of tension, intrigue. When you don't immediately react or validate, you create a vacuum that she feels a natural compulsion to fill. Often she will do so by revealing more about herself or by working harder for your approval. This is a subtle but profound shift of power. It is the difference between being an entertainer, desperately trying to keep the show going, and being the audience, calmly judging the performance. By mastering silence, you move from the stage to the throne. You become the observer whose judgment matters. Principle 6. Let her feel insecure. Let's be direct, because the truth is often uncomfortable. This principle is not about being cruel or manipulative. To intentionally inflict pain is the mark of a weak man. Instead, this is about understanding a fundamental law of human dynamics. Profound, unshakable self-possession in one person will inevitably create a sense of insecurity in those who are not as centered. Your goal is not to make her insecure. Your goal is to become so secure, so grounded in your own purpose and frame, that her own emotional footing feels less stable by comparison, forcing her to question her own position relative to yours. Every interaction is a battle for frame, the emotional reality of the situation. The person who is more emotionally reactive, who is tossed about by the moods and actions of the other, is the one who loses the frame. Women will constantly test your frame with moodiness, challenges, and unexpected behavior, searching for cracks in your foundation. The average man is sand. He gets angry, needy, or defensive, proving that his emotional state is in her hands. The Stoic man, however, is a rock. He understands that her tests are merely externals and have no power over his inner citadel. He is not playing a game of being unreactive. He genuinely is unreactive because his peace comes from within, not from her approval. This is where her insecurity is born. She is used to men whose emotions are puppets on her string, and your refusal to have your strings pulled is deeply unsettling. Your emotional self-sufficiency creates a vacuum where her power used to be. Your calm in the face of her storm is a silent declaration that you are operating from a place of internal strength she cannot touch. This forces her to question everything. She begins to wonder not how she can control you, but how she can earn a place in your stable reality. You become a challenge, a puzzle she feels a desperate need to solve, not through malice, but through the sheer, unshakable force of your own security. Now, before you go, let me share with you an ancient story that will illustrate today's episode, the parable of the emperor's gardener. In ancient Rome, there lived a gardener named Lycomedes, who tended the private gardens of the emperor himself. He was not a man of noble birth or great wealth, but his reputation was legendary. It was said that the roses he grew were the most vibrant, his fountains the most serene, and his olive trees the most fruitful in all the empire. One day, the emperor's daughter, known for her sharp wit and her tendency to test the men who sought her favor, decided to visit the gardens. She found Lycomedes quietly pruning a vine, his focus absolute. "Gardener," she said, her voice laced with authority, "my father says you are the best in Rome. Prove it. Make that barren patch of earth over there bloom by tomorrow." She pointed to a rocky, sun-scorched corner of the garden. Lycomedes did not look up from his vine. He finished his cut with precision, then wiped his shears. He turned to her, his eyes calm and clear. "Princess," he said, his voice even, "a flower does not bloom by command. It blooms when the soil is right, when it has been given water and sun, and when its season has come. I can prepare the soil, but I cannot force the bloom." Annoyed by his lack of deference, she tried another tactic. "You must be lonely here all day. Tell me your story. I wish to be entertained." Lycomedes smiled faintly. "My story is in the garden, princess. See the strength of that old oak. It has weathered 100 storms. See the patience of the cypress, which grows slowly but reaches for the heavens. My story is written in my work, not in my words." Frustrated, she decided to leave. "You are a strange and stubborn man, gardener. I will not be back." Lycomedes simply bowed his head slightly. "The garden will be here if you choose to return." Weeks passed. The princess entertained suitors from across the known world. They brought her jewels and poems. They flattered her and promised her the world. But she found their eagerness tiresome, their compliments hollow. Her mind kept returning to the gardener. She found herself walking the palace walls, looking down into the garden, watching him work. He moved with a quiet purpose, never rushing, never idle. He seemed to be in his own world, a world of growth and patience and order. His peace was not dependent on her presence. One evening, she went down to the garden again. He was sitting on a stone bench, watching the sunset paint the sky. He did not rise immediately, but simply gestured to the space beside him. She sat in silence, watching the sky with him. After a long while, she spoke, her voice softer than before. "You never came to the palace to ask for my favor." Lycomedes turned to her. "My work is my favor, princess. It is what I offer the world." "You were not afraid I would never return?" she asked. He looked at the ancient oak tree, its roots deep in the earth. A man who tends his own garden does not worry about the butterflies that fly away. He knows that if he makes his garden beautiful enough, the butterflies will always return. The wisdom of the gardener is the wisdom of the Stoic. He did not chase the princess. He did not beg for her attention or abandon his duties to entertain her. He focused on the one thing he could control, the excellence of his own garden. He built a world of value, purpose, and beauty, and in doing so, he became the destination. These 6 principles are not a checklist of behaviors to mimic. They are an invitation to a profound internal shift. They are about building your own garden, a life of purpose, self-respect, and unshakable inner peace. When you focus on becoming a man of substance, attraction ceases to be a goal you must pursue. It becomes the natural, inevitable consequence of who you are. Tend to your garden, and the butterflies will come.